All right, so let's get started. We're going to start seated. So in a comfortable cross-legged position, whatever that might mean for you. I have a blanket here under my hips. Sometimes it helps to get the hips up a little higher than the knees. So sitting up nice and tall, think of grounding through your sit bones and then lengthening up right from the base of your spine all the way up through the crown of your head. So closing your eyes, and let's bring one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And begin to just draw your attention from an outward focus to an inward focus. And beginning to notice your breath. So not changing it at all at first, but just with your hand on your heart and your belly, notice what areas are expanding. You breathe a little more into your upper chest, a little more into your lower part of your lungs. So through this class, I'll continue to ask you to notice your breath. Our breath awareness is a way to keep our mind distracted, to bring our attention inward, and take our attention off of that to-do list, the events from the day. It's a way to bring us back into our bodies and get us out of our minds. So now just deepening your breath. Inhaling. And then slowly exhale. A couple more times. Noticing that space between the inhale and exhale. Not holding your breath at all, but just pausing to recognize that space in between. Good. Now bring hands down onto knees. Your palms can be face up or face down. Face up is supposed to be a little more energizing, and face down is a little more grounding. So just sensing what you might need. So with your eyes still closed, let's bring the chin to chest. Feeling that stretch through the back of the neck. We're going to circle the head around. So first we'll bring left ear to left shoulder, then gently back, and then right ear, right shoulder, back to center. So going at your own pace, really slowly noticing any tension in your neck and your shoulders. And maybe be synchronizing your breath with this movement. So as you're rounding up to the left, inhale. And as you're coming forward, exhale. Again, if there's any areas that need a little extra attention, pause there, give it a little extra stretch. Good. Once you get to center, we'll reverse direction. Right ear, right shoulder, inhale. Exhale down and around. One more circle around, and once you get back to center, we'll lift the chin up, fluttering the eyes open. Just do a couple shoulder rolls here, so maybe crunching the shoulders up towards the ears, and then bringing them back behind you and down. Again, crunching up, circling, and down. Good. Reverse. Weather's starting to get nicer. Maybe you've been outside doing a little yard work. I know I have. I'm soaring muscles I forgot I even had. So just again, noticing, bringing your attention there. Okay, gentle twist to begin. So right hand onto the left knee. We inhale, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Exhale, twist, just a gentle twist to begin. Nice deep breath here. Inhale. To the other side. Inhale, lengthen. Good. Back through the chair. We'll come forward now. Coming onto all fours. A few cow stretches, one of my favorites. Putting your wrists right over your shoulders, your knees right over your hips, trying to get into that kind of 90-degree angles with your limbs. And inhale, looking up, drop your belly. Exhale, round the spine, tuck your tail, tuck your chin. So maybe you're closing your eyes here as well. Really drawing your attention inward. Seeing if you can start your breath before the movement. So we inhale, create space, dropping that belly, creating some space for the lungs to fill. Exhale, pull that navel to your spine, really squeezing all that air out. Inhale up. Exhale down. Good. A few breaths. Feel free to take any other movement you'd like. Maybe as you're inhaling, pulling your chest through your arms. On your exhale, maybe you're bringing that weight a little more in your shins to round through your lower back. Good. Now pausing, neutral spine. We're going to inhale, reach that right arm up, getting lots of length, stretching as long as you can, and then exhale, threading that arm down through the space, your left arm and your torso. Good. Dropping that right shoulder down. Sometimes it feels good to wave the hips side to side here. It's harder to breathe when we're twisting. The lungs don't have as much space, so really focusing on your breath. Good. Pushing into that left hand to come back up and switching sides. Inhale, reaching up with that left arm. Exhale, threading through, dropping left shoulder down. Deep breath here. Noticing the difference from one side to the next. Good. Inhale, coming back up through table. So before we make our way into downward dog, quick little toe stretch. So curl your toes under. We're really going to stretch through the feet. Curling the toes under, you can keep your hands down if that's intense enough for you, or you sit back onto the heels. Really stretching through the feet. Good. Again, bringing your attention to your breath. We're going to be making our way to standing, getting some more movement in. So maybe to enjoy a little bit more of the lack of movement. Good. Feeling that stretch through the feet. You get pretty intense. Feel free to come forward at any time if you need to. A couple more deep breaths here. Good. Okay. Walk hands forward. That's enough of that, right? We're going to keep toes curled under and then lift the hips up. Downward facing dog. Feel free to bend one knee and then the other. Maybe you want to crunch those toes, get a little bit of a contra stretch through the foot. Good. Kind of roll your shoulders away from your ears to really create some space between your upper arm and your ears. Think of lifting the hips up nice and high as you're dropping your heels down. Good. And then take any movement that feels good to you. Bending one knee, kind of bicycling through the legs. Good, and pause, deep breath. Exhale completely. And we're gonna look forward towards the hands. We're gonna mindfully and slowly walk the feet to meet the hands. Good, and once the feet meet there, we're gonna inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, fold forward. So just taking a few breaths here. I like to shake my head, yes or no, really release through that neck. See if you can release any tension right from your hips all the way up through your whole spine, just allowing your vertebrae to have some space being spread apart by gravity. Good, deep breath. Good, let's bend the knees, bring the hands onto the thighs, and we're gonna roll through each vertebrae, really stacking one vertebrae on top of the next. Good, till we come up to standing. Let's inhale, arms up, inhale, exhale, hands at heart center. Good, so we're gonna flow through a couple sun salutations. If you haven't done a sun salutation before, it's just a number of poses linked together. And we're gonna work on using our breath to link the poses. So we start in mountain pose. So this looks like we're just standing, but it's a very active pose. You're really spreading wide through the feet. Think of spreading each toe apart, really grounding those feet down. Your legs are engaged, so your kneecaps are lifting up. Good, belly's turned on. Really think of pulling that belly button in towards your spine. Good, I like to turn my palms to face forward. That brings your shoulders down and back. Good, again, lengthening up through the crown of your head. You're tall like a mountain. Good, we inhale, lift the arms up, shoulders are down away from your ears. Reach up, how high can you lift? Exhale, open the arms wide. We're gonna swan dive forward, nice straight back, all the way down. Inhale, lengthen, nice straight spine. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back, come into your plank. So we'll pause here just for a moment, really strong plank. Push into the mat, pull that belly in, feel how strong you are. You can always drop your knees down here. That's always an option. We're gonna lower down. So you bend at your elbows and lower down. You can come all the way onto your belly or hover. Push into your hands. Inhale, upward facing dog. Deep breath here. Really pull your chest through your shoulders. Good. Downward facing dog. Feel free to come through that tabletop again. Curl toes under. Downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here. Reconnecting. If you ever need more of a rest than a downward dog, you feel free to come into your child's pose. Good, last breath. We look forward towards the hands, step those feet forward. Again, slowly and mindfully. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising all the way back up. Hands at heart center. Good, we'll do that one more time, maybe just a little bit faster. Inhale, lengthen, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward, nice straight spine. Inhale, gazing up. Exhale, planting hands, stepping feet back, strong plank, and lower down through chaturanga. Good, push into your hands, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath here. Think of lifting the hips up as high as you can and dropping your heels down towards the mat. Kind of rolling those shoulder blades open away from your ears, spreading very wide through the fingers. Nice strong base for your wrists. Long, deep breath. Good, last one, exhale. Inhale, looking forward, step those feet forward to meet the hands. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising all the way back up. Good, hands at heart center. Good. Why don't we do one more? Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Good, so building that heat, getting warmed up, preparing the body. Or feel free to come into that child's pose. Last breath, make it count long and full. Exhale out. Inhale, feet come forward. We lengthen the spine, looking up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rising all the way back up. Exhale, hands at heart center. Good. Excellent. Reconnecting with your breath in your mountain pose. So, tree pose. We are going to ground through that right foot now. So really think of growing roots. So we're becoming trees. So you really want to root down with that right foot. The left foot can be in a few different locations. So a little kickstand on your right ankle, or you can bring it up to your right calf. Or if you're feeling extra flexible, you can bring it right on up to that thigh. You just want to avoid the knee joint. Don't put the foot on the knee joint. You don't want to push it in a lateral direction. So wherever your left foot is, I want you to think of opening up. So you're opening up that left hip, and we're keeping the hips level. Good, belly's pulled in nice and strong. So your branches can stay here in prayer, or they can grow. Good, beautiful trees. Sometimes it's a little windy than other days, right? So lengthen, looking up, maybe gazing up towards the sky. You're comfortable with your balance. Good, so we're gonna transition here. I'm gonna come out just so I can turn in the right direction. So you can bring your foot down if you're not feeling as balanced today, or you can challenge yourself. We're gonna step that left foot back. Hands can come down into prayer, and step that left foot back to come into a lunge position. So that right leg's really bent, right knee's really bent, left leg is straight, the heel is up if you're comfortable with that in your balance. If not, you just drop that heel right down, turning your foot at 45. Otherwise, more of a balance challenge in this lunge. Good, hands can stay here in prayer, or you lift the arms up. Think of shining your heart forward. So we're lengthening up through the arms and grounding down through the legs. Good, deep breath here. Exhale. You think of inhaling, lengthen. Exhale, grounding. Good, one more breath. Exhale, warrior two. So drop the arms parallel. That front right knee stays bent, but the hips now open up to the side. Good, so this is one of my favorite poses. Feel how strong you are. Your arms are pulling in opposite directions. Think of opening up through the shoulder blades. Sometimes you can bring your arms forward, really open up through those shoulder blades, and then bring the arms back. Try to keep that openness in your back. Good, deep breath, sink a little bit lower. Good, inhale, reverse that warrior, lifting that right arm up. So that left arm can come down onto your left leg, but you're not pushing into that leg. Your core is what's reaching and lifting up. Your gaze can stay straight ahead, or you can look up at that lifted arm. Good, feeling a sense of length all through that right side. Good, deep breath here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, ground. One more time. Side angle, that right elbow, right knee. One long line, tip all the way to the lid of your foot. So if your hand you have further to as the elbow is on that right knee. See if you can lift up, keeping a nice strong core. Good deep breath. One more, inhale. Exhale. Good, lower down, lift back up. We'll straighten that right leg. And we're gonna turn that left leg out. I'm sorry, left foot out. So your feet are kind of at a 45-degree angle. Good. Low. We're gonna lift arms, kind of like a goal post, spreading wide through the fingers. Good, deep breath. Sink a little lower. Inhale, let's come up, 5-pointed star. Exhale, back down to goddess. So see if you can kind of tuck your tailbone under. You don't want to stick your bum up, right? Tuck that tailbone under, kind of shortening that space between your ribs and your pelvis. Good, deep breath. Good, inhale back up, 5-pointed star. If vinyasa is in your practice, you can flow through a vinyasa, or you're just gonna step to the top of your mat and reset in your mountain pose. Reconnecting with your breath, preparing for your tree pose on the other side. Good, this time we're gonna ground through that left foot, really growing roots. That right foot can come up, either that kickstand on the ankle, calf, or all the way up onto the thigh. Think of keeping those hips level. So when I bring that right leg up, right, I can see my left hip is kicking up. Keep those hips nice and level, and then open up that right side. Good, again, hands can stay here. Keeping the shoulders away from your ears. Towards the little all those little micro movements in your ankle, building all the bones and muscles in your feet. Good, so here comes that transition. Feel free to come tree pose, or we're going to very slowly and mindfully step that right foot back. Again, heel can stay lifted, or it can come right down at that 45-degree angle on the foot. Good, really push through that back heel if your heel's lifted. Good, inhale, lengthen arms up. Deep breath. Bending into that front left leg. We inhale, lengthen, exhale, ground. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, ground. Good, belly's always turned on, nice strong core. One more breath here, inhale, exhale, warrior two. Arms drop down parallel to the floor, bend into that left leg. So turning palms up can help pull those shoulders down. So try to turn palms up and then keep the shoulders there as you turn your palms back. Good, deep breath. Sink a little lower. Or not. My cues are just suggestions. Feel free to make it your own practice. Good, inhale, reverse your warrior, reaching up. Now lengthening on that left side. The right arm's more of a measure of how high you can get with that left side. Good, deep breath. Creating space, reaching as long as you can, and then exhale, side angle, other side. Left elbow, left knee, right arm comes up and over. So if it's a little hard to get that rotation, to get the arm on a diagonal, you can always keep that arm straight up to the ceiling. Again, light in that left arm, use your core. Deep breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, ground. Good. Inhale, back up. I'm just going to flip around, so I'm folding forward. Good. This time we're going to turn to face the side again, but feet are going to come inward this time. Hands on hips. Inhale, lengthen the front of your body. So really open up through the front of your chest. Good. Now we're going to bend forward. Think of keeping your spine as straight as you can as you bend. Good. Hands can come wherever you'd like. They can come onto the floor. They can stay on your hips. If you've been practicing for a while and you want to reach for those big toes, wherever feels comfortable to you. Take breaths here, you way through one hip and the other. Really noticing the stretch in your legs and your hips, in your body. Again, I think I feel, and I'm lengthening through the crown. I exhale and fold a little bit deeper. So even though we're holding these postures, we're still moving in them because our breath is moving us. So we're inhaling, little micro movement, extension. Exhale, little micro movement of bending. Good, final breath. Let's bring hands back onto hips. Feel free to bend your knees if you'd like, if you have any tension in your lower back. Inhale, coming back up through standing. Good, we can heel toe the legs a little bit closer. Feel free to cycle through another vinyasa if that's in your practice, or we step back to the top of our mat. Good. One more final balance posture. So grounding through that left foot again. Think of hips as level. We're going to inhale, reach up and grab that right knee. If that's not accessible for you, just lifting that right foot up off the floor. So again, lots of levels here, lots of different abilities. First option is just lifting up off the floor. Again, hips are staying level. You're really concentrating on the core here. The core is kind of lifting your leg versus your hip. Next option would be one hand, one knee, or two. Yeah, see if you can do one. Good. Next option would be you're reaching for your big toe. Wherever you are, straight that leg, and we're going to release. In. Good, next side. Grounding through that right foot now. Nice level hips, turning the core on, lifting that left foot. So wherever you'd like to go. You fall out, you get back in. That's what happens, right? Good, nice strong core, long, strong breath. Good, straighten that leg. I like to put my hands under my thigh just to pull it up there a little higher. Good, straighten, lift up with your chest. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, release. Whew. All right, making our way to our mats. We inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back. We're going to lower all the way down onto our bellies. Lower down. See how slow and controlled you can do it. Making your way all the way down. Good. Taking just a breath here. So you can turn your one cheek on the mat. Taking a few breaths. Arms down alongside your body. After all those standing postures, you can probably feel your heart beating up against the mat. Maybe slowing your breath down, enjoying a little bit of stillness. Having a moment of gratitude for your health, for that heart that's pumping, for those lungs that are breathing. Good, let's bring the chin on the mat now. We're gonna do a little bit of back bending. So I'll do a couple versions here. We'll start out slow. Feel free to repeat that first step as we add on. So as we bring our chin onto the mat, we're gonna peel up. So we peel up with the chin, then the shoulders pull back and chest lifts up. So hands can stay down if that's a little too intense. Otherwise, think of energy shooting out through your fingertips. Your palms face one another. Really engage your triceps. Triceps pull the arms in towards your center. Good, deep breath. Keeping your gaze kind of at the top of your mat so you're not straining through the back of your neck. Good, deep breath here. Inhale. Exhale, lower down, opposite cheek on the mat. Again, enjoying that pause in between the work. Okay, chin back on the mat. This time we're gonna bring the legs into it. Again, arms can stay down, or you can repeat what we just did. Honoring wherever you're at today. Feeling chin up, shoulders pull back, arms are reaching towards the back of your mat. Again, staying here or zipping the legs up and lifting them up. Think of pushing the front of your pelvis into the mat to help lift you up a little bit higher. Deep breath. One more inhale. Exhale, opposite cheek on the mat. I think I can feel my heart in my stomach. Good, one more breath. Good, final position. Again, repeating previous two if that's what you prefer. Peeling up, arms pull back, legs lift up. Staying here or arms come forward. Even do a little bit of a swimming motion, lifting one foot and then the opposite hand. Good, or lifting up as high as you can. Deep breath. Exhale, lowering down. We're gonna put palms on the mat, slowly push up through table, and then lower back into child's pose, sitting back onto the heels. Deep breath. Spine, mat shows. Feeling the opposite bend spine. Getting a little forehead can be on your mat. Good, inhale, sitting back up, nice and slow. We're gonna slide the legs out in front of us. Coming into a seated position. So when we start our sun salutation, we started in a mountain pose. This is seated staff pose, Dandasana. So again, it looks just like mountain pose, looked like we were just standing there, right? But it was very active. This is a seated posture that looks like you're just sitting here unless you're in it. So legs are really active. Pull the tops of your feet back towards your face. Engage your legs. Pull those kneecaps up. Thighs are turned on. Think of tipping your pelvis forward just a little bit. Now shoulders are down and back. Good. Hands are on either side of you. But again, more of a measurement for how tall you can get your spine. Once you're there, tucking the chin slightly, just creating some space in the back of the neck. Belly's pulled in. Think of pulling that belly button in towards your spine. One more breath. Good. Inhale, lift up, reach up, and then exhale, fold forward. Think of hinging right from the long line from your head. So if you have drop of your neglected it's a good option. Bring it on your foot to help pull you forward a little bit. So in this forward fold, I want you to really think of keeping a nice straight spine. So sometimes we round through just to really stretch through each of the vertebrae, right? But here I want you to think of creating more length and space through the front of your body and folding just from that hip joint. So maybe you're coming up a little bit to keep that straight spine and only lowering until you start to round. Good deep breath. So here again, we inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. Good, one more, inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. Good, let's come back up. So another forward fold. We're gonna bring the right sole of the right foot onto the inside of the left thigh. So think of bringing that right hip forward, right? When I bring my right leg up, my right hip pulls back. So squaring those hips off. Again, keeping that extended left leg nice and active. We inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, fold, hinging right from that hip joint again. So notice the difference when you have one leg bent. Is it easier? Is it harder? And keep that right foot active so that just like our tree pose, this is like a seated tree pose. So that right foot's kind of pushing into that thigh. Good. Few breaths here. Again, noticing the sensations. Keeping your mind focused on your breath, focused on your body. Don't go to that to-do list or something that happened earlier or later or whatever. Try to be present just for the moments left. Good. Inhale, coming back up. Lift that right up. Create some space between your extended left leg. Shin with the left arm. Inhale, lengthen up with that right, lots of length, and then we're going to twist over to the left. So I bring that right arm behind me. You can deepen to shine. Hug that over to the right. Yeah, if you feel like you could a little deeper, you bring that left arm on the outside of that right leg. Twist a little deeper. Good, deep breath. So here, again, it's harder to breathe and twist. So really, as you inhale, think of filling those lungs as much as you can. Here we inhale and lengthen, and we exhale and twist. Good, one more breath. Slowly unwinding. Switching sides. We'll come into that forward fold first, bringing the left foot onto the thigh. Good. Keeping those hips nice and square. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. So see if that right leg's going floppy, right? Keep it engaged, pulling the top of the foot back towards your face. And like if you were standing in that tree posture, That standing leg is going to be active. So I like to teach more of an active type of approach. There's so many different aspects to yoga. There's a lot of restorative and slower paced types. So that's more what you feel like you need today than just ignore me. But even when we're being active, when this extended leg is active, we're pushing in with the left foot, you don't need your jaw. Your jaw doesn't need to be tense. Your forehead doesn't need to be tense, right? So release what you don't need and activate what you do. Good, coming back up, lifting that left knee up. Again, I like to create some space between my foot and my leg. It just gives a little bit more of a stronger foundation for the twist. Grabbing that leg with the right arm, reaching up with the left, twisting on over to that left side. So really pushing into that left hand to get that spine nice and straight. Again, arm can come on the outside of the leg if you feel like you can twist deeper. Inhale, exhale. Good, one more, inhale, length, exhale, twist, and then slowly release. Let's bend that right leg to meet the left. We're gonna come into a boat pose. So I want you to think of tucking your pelvis under just a little bit. So we're gonna be broad and open through the chest, kind of like your torso's in like a J shape. So your pelvis is tucked under just a little bit, but you're open and broad through your chest. So grabbing underneath the thighs, we lift one foot and then the other. So your hands can stay right under those thighs. Or more challenging is to release the arms, really engage the core. So right away, my hips wanna take over here. Try to bring it more into your core. You can straighten your legs if you want. I don't have that in me today. Good, one more deep breath. Let's put feet down just for a moment. We're gonna do one more. Good, back up. Releasing if you choose. Good, and then we're gonna slowly sink our boat. So again, see how slow you can come down onto your back without just flopping down. Good. Now take a moment, take any movement that feels good to you. Maybe you hug your knees in, rock side to side. Kind of noticing what you need, getting comfortable on your back. Good, we're gonna do just a few back bends here. So I'm gonna give you a couple options. In the email I had mentioned some props, so whether or not you have them is where you might want to go. So again, a more passive back bend, more passive bridge pose. If you have a block, maybe a couple books, a dog, whatever. We're gonna keep the feet flat on the floor, knees are bent. So again, a more restorative, relaxing type back bend is to lift the hips up, place a block right underneath you, right underneath your hips. And then just see what you can release and relax. A more active bridge pose would be to put a block, or if you don't have a block, I want you to imagine you have a block and that you're squeezing your thighs together without them actually touching. And then inhale, lift the hips up. So you're lifting and squeezing. If the block's under your hips and you're going for a more restorative type back bend, then you are not engaging at all. You are just releasing. So you squeeze and lift, squeeze and lift. If you're going for that active version, you can clasp the hands underneath you, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Good deep breath. One more. Good, releasing. Lowering down, removing block, wherever it is. So let's, why don't we take one more? So whatever version we just did, or the other option. If you don't have a block, you can actually get some pillows or a blanket and kind of just lay out over to open up through your back. That's one option also. Okay, so last bridge pose, wherever you'd like. Inhale, lift. Either you're doing that squeeze and lift or you're just releasing. Long, slow breath. Good, last breath. Lifting up and slowly lowering down one vertebrae at a time. Good, feel free to hug your knees in. Sometimes it feels good to bring the feet nice and wide and let the knees drop in. So your back is nice and flat, just letting that kind of settle into your back. Taking a few moments here. Good, we'll move into a hip stretch. Feel free to stay still if that's what your body needs. Otherwise, we're going to bring that right ankle up onto the left thigh, pushing that right knee away. You'd stay here, or you can lift that left foot and hug it in. It's kind of like that figure four, or if you're familiar with pigeon, supine pigeon on your back. So here, I like to think of inhale, exhale, pull the legs in a little bit closer. So it's those micro movements that add up over time. You can do little micro movements with each breath. Encouraging that right knee to kind of pull away to add to the stretch on that right hip. Good, lower down, nice and slow, switching sides. Good, again, encouraging that left knee away, lifting right foot if you choose. Pulling in a little bit tighter. We can hold so much tension in our hips, in our necks. Opening that up, noticing that sensation of the release. Good, last breath. And lower. So we'll take an inversion here. So if you have a different inversion you would like to do, feel free to do so. Otherwise, we're just going to lift the legs up to the wall, lift the legs up to the ceiling. If you are near a wall and you'd like to bring your legs against the wall, that's very relaxing and restorative. Maybe you just want to try it later, but just taking some time to be upside down. If it's a little hard to keep the legs lifted, you can bring your hands underneath the back of your hips to give them a little height. Good, deep breath. I like to kind of point one toe, flex through the heel, then reverse. Good, maybe again, keeping those legs active or just release. That's really good for our hearts. Getting upside down can help reverse the flow of blood. Help give us a new perspective as well. Okay, so release the hands if they're there. Again, a little bit of core strength here if you choose, otherwise just bend your knees. Or keep your hands flat, pull the core in, And slowly lower the legs, one long line all the way down to the mat. Shaking. Good, nice deep breath here. So we're gonna finish before our Shavasana with a pose. It's a yin posture. That's what I was looking for. It's called Banana Asana. So we're, again, stretching through those obliques. We did some twists. We did some core work, so we'll stretch through those obliques. So nice and flat on the mat. Keep your hips flat on the mat. I want you to walk your feet over to the left side, but hips are staying in the center of your mat. Bring your arms up overhead, and then lean your arms and your upper torso over to the left as well. So you're making your body into a crescent shape. So wiggle your upper torso as much as you can to the left, and then move your feet, but try to keep those hips stationary. Good, and once you get as far as you think you can, to deepen the stretch, you bring that right foot on top of the left. So kind of cross your ankles, and then you breathe. So you might notice some release as you hold this posture for a few breaths. You might be able to wiggle a little bit deeper after a few breaths to intensify that stretch on the right side. So really breathing into that left side. I'm sorry, the right side. Good, just a few more breaths here. So with a yin practice, poses are held for like 3 to 5 minutes sometimes. So it's a much different type of yoga. So this feels wonderful, like you could stay here all day, then maybe yin's your thing. So let's come back through center. We have a Shavasana to get to though. So moving on over to the right, bringing legs over to the right, the torso and arms over to the right, stretching through that left side now. When you get as far as you can, bring the left ankle on top of the right. So try to keep your legs flat. So you want your legs flat on your mat. So no bend to your knee. Your legs are flat. You're making like a C shape with your body. But that's why it's called Banana Asana, like a banana. But it's hard to keep those hips grounded. Good, just a few more breaths. Breathing into that left side. Maybe getting a little bit deeper, maybe not. Good. Now back through center. Taking any last movement that you'd like before you make your way into Shavasana. Hugging your knees in, maybe taking a twist, stretching out those obliques that we were just working on. Any final movement you would like, and then we'll make our way into our final posture, which is our Shavasana. So Shavasana is the whole point of a yoga practice. I want you to lay on your back and get as comfortable as you can. So the whole reason for doing all these postures is to work out any tension in our bodies, work out any unnecessary energy so we can come to this place of stillness and relaxation. So once you're there, maybe put socks on, maybe get a blanket, maybe put a pillow under your knees. You do whatever you want to get yourself as comfortable as you can. Once you're there, take a deep breath in through your nose and sigh it out through an open mouth. Good. Again, one more time. Inhale and sigh it out. And now let your breathing just be soft and easy and natural. No more control over your breath. Continue to notice it, but don't try to control it. Let your breathing, let your body breathe naturally. And bring your attention to your body, making contact with the floor. See if you can allow your body to sink into the support of the floor a little bit more deeply. Quickly scanning from the bottom of your feet, noticing if there's any tension, allowing the feet to just flop open, releasing your legs, releasing your hips, releasing your abdomen, your shoulders, your arms. All those muscles in the face that tend to hold so much tension. Your jaw is soft. Your tongue is just resting in your mouth. You notice the air against your skin, against your face, your clothes against your skin. Sinking in and releasing a little bit more. I'm going to read a little meditation on loving kindness. You can just allow the words to either sink in or to just float, just sink into your relaxation, or you can repeat them silently in your mind. May I be well. May I be happy and peaceful. May I be free from all danger and suffering. May I be filled with loving kindness. Now I want you to bring to mind all your loved ones, your family, your friends, everyone you care about, your students, your co-workers, faculty, and send this message. May you be well. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be free from all danger and suffering. May you be filled with loving kindness. Now let's bring to mind everyone in our town, everyone in our state, everyone in our country. May you be well. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be free from all danger and suffering. May you be filled with loving kindness. And finally, let's bring our earth and everything in it, all the inhabitants. May you be well. May you be happy and peaceful. May you be free from danger and suffering. May you be filled with loving kindness. And deepening your breath. Bringing your attention back into your surroundings, into your space. Inviting some movement in, wiggling some fingers and toes. Very slowly expanding that movement, taking your time. Eventually, we'll roll over onto your right side. Just pausing there. Nice deep breath. Good. And we'll push up to a seated position, just like when we started class. And bring our hands together at heart center. I like to bring my thumbs right against my heart. And again, feel that life force, that energy inside of you. Spending a moment of gratitude for our health, for everything in our lives. May we be healthy in body, mind, and spirit. Namaste.